Who said Flat got nerfed? Get your head in the game, baby. You want to be able to do this to bosses? Well, today I'm going to show you the build that's going to allow you to do it. This is LaserBolt, and as everybody knows, Fl4k got a big nerf with the new update. But luckily to you guys, we've been able to put together a crit build that's going to put Fl4k back into the map, and it's going to make him even more powerful because some weapons got a little bit of a buff that didn't have a buff before. What this allows us to do is to get a ton of crit damage, not only with the weapons we were getting before, but also bringing some brand new weapons into the table that are extremely OP, which make this build work. Now, before I get started and show you the build, I do want to remind you guys about our giveaway. We're giving away 2 free copies of Shadowkeep for the system of your choice. To enter and participate, it's super easy. All you have to do is click the link down below where it says Join Bold Nation, and you guys will be automatically entered. Now, that wasn't enough to get you guys excited. We have exclusive features on the channel like these amazing emotes and the LaserBolt badge, plus other new features that are also going to be coming to the channel. So make sure you guys join the Bold Nation. I want to give a massive shout out and thank you to everybody who has joined already. Thank you guys for the amazing support and for helping us keep the dream alive. Now, when we put this build together, we took a couple things into consideration. Number one, we took into consideration what will allow us to melt bosses super fast. And number two, a build that would allow us to play the endgame content without having to worry about dying very frequently. So we put this build together focusing on those two elements, and I think we achieved both of those. We achieved survivability in a sense, and we also achieved maximum DPS and maximum crit damage when dealing with bosses. And what we ended up with is almost a build that one clips a boss and one shots any mob that comes your way. So without further ado, guys, let's dive into the build. For this particular build, we're going to be focusing on 2 primary trees. We're going to be focusing on Stalker, and we're also going to be focusing on Hunter. Now let's take a look at Stalker and see what we're going to be able to get from there. The majority of things we're getting from here is going to be our survivability, and we're going to start off with the first one, which is called Ferocious Attack. What this is going to allow us to do, it's going to increase our handling and our gun damage every single time we stack one of these. And the way we're able to stack this, all we have to do is shoot an enemy and we're going to get the Ferocious Attack. We're able to stack a total of 10 of these, and that's going to boost our gun damage, and we do all 10 to 20% per stack, and our handling to almost 50% for every 10 stacks. The only thing I really don't like about this is the duration. I wish the duration was like maybe 8 seconds or 6 seconds, but it's still a really good one to have for those fast engaging encounters. Alright, so now to row number 2, we're going to dump 5 points into Eager to Impress. This is going to be a kill skill. What this is going to allow us to do is every time we kill someone, our action skill cooldown will also be reduced. Plus, also whenever our pet kills someone, the cooldown will be reduced. It's not that much, but anything helps, and we're going to be killing a lot of people, especially how fast we're going to be able to be landing these crits. If you guys follow this build and the items that I'm going to show you, you guys are going to be using this skill quite often. Next up, staying in the same row, we're going to dump 4 points to this one right here. And what this is going to allow us to do is just going to increase our fire rate. Pretty good to have, you know, especially when you're killing a lot of mobs. And then we're going to go to row number 3, and we're going to start with Lick the Wounds. This is primarily focused because when we're doing mob content or we're doing high level content, it's always good to have that extra life in your back pocket. Plus, also, maybe you're killing a boss and you just go down for some random reason. It's always good to have this one, guys. So this one I always consider to be a must-have, especially for a Fl4k build that's going to be versatile. Then we're going to dump 3 points into Turn, Tail, and Run. What this is going to allow us to do, it's going to allow us that every time we're moving constantly, we're going to be regenerating in our health, and we're also going to be gaining damage reduction. So this is going to allow us to move very frequently. Remember, we're going to be landing these crit shots, and our movement has to be fluid so we could get up close to the enemy and then, you know, swivel around and come back and kill them again. Next, we're going to dump a total of 5 points into Hitting Machine. Whenever an enemy has no target or is attacking a different target, Fl4k deals increased damage against them. Once again, this one in here, the reason we picked this one is going to help you if you're playing a lot of co-op or you're playing with a team. It's going to help you do a little bit more damage if people are attacking your teammates. You're going to be able to dish out that 30% damage, and it's still pretty effective. Even when you're playing solo, sometimes enemies are aiming at different targets. You know, you still be able to get that 30% stack. All right, so now let's move on over to the Hunter skill tree. We're going to start off with row number 1. We're going to dump 5 points into Stalker. What this is going to do, it's going to give us a bonus to all damage dealt. Now, this is going to be very important to our build because we're going to be using a class mod that's going to change bosses and enemies into robots and humans and beasts. So it's going to give us a nice little boost when it comes to implementing this one. So that's why we're dumping a total of 5 points points on this one. Next up, going to row number 2, we're going to dump another 5 points into Hunter Eye. This is going to give us a bonus when fighting different types of enemies. Once again, you guys see the synergy that we're having with the Stalker one up top and this one down here below. It's going to give us a plus 21 to humans, 42 to robots, and 28 to beasts, allowing us to kill the bosses really fast and easy and giving us those nice crit hits. Then we're going to be dumping a total of 3 points into head count. This one's actually pretty good because every time we score a critical hit, our action skill cooldown is going to be reduced, and it's always good to have because we're going to be doing a lot of crit. And it's going to be proccing a lot because we're going to be doing a lot of crit hits. Then we're going to be dumping a total of 4 points to ambush predator. What this is going to allow us to do, it's going to allow us to kill certain bosses that don't have enemies around them, or you probably kill the rest of the ads and you just have to deal with one boss. It's going to increase your weapon handling and also your critical hit damage when there are no enemies around. You could never say no to that plus 20 crit hit damage increase. Next up, we're going to go to row number 3 and we're going to dump a total of 5 points to Fang. This is just going to give us an extra projectile per shot. It's actually a really good one to have. Now, the one on the bottom that says 2 out of 3, which is the most dangerous game, we're not dumping any points to this one. This is just our class mod already comes with that too. So we're going to definitely be getting the stack of this just by having the class mod. If you're running it, this is actually something good to have. Yes, it is, guys, because every time you kill a badass, you're going to get an increase on your critical hit damage and your gun damage and handling. So it's always a good one to have, especially for mob clearing and high-end content. And last but not least, guys, our last 3 points, we're going to be dumping it into Persistence Hunter. It's going to increase Flag's gun damage and action skill duration. After the nerf he got, it's very important to actually put the 3 points in this. It's going to help you a lot with that extra gun damage. Plus that action skill duration is going to be crucial for you to be able to deal with a lot of ads. Alright, so now it's time for us to dive into the gear. There are a couple requirements that we're going to have in order to make this work. And also, I'm going to give you guys a quick setup if you're running Circle of Slaughter or if you're running Proven Grounds. What's the best and most ideal combo to go with. And also, if you're just deciding to kill bosses, what you should pick and what you shouldn't go with. So, let's get the first one out of the way, which is the boss one. So, for bosses, you're going to want to make sure you have yourself a Layuta. Now, the Layuta is actually pretty OP, guys, because this is going to make you belt bosses really, really fast. Now, you're going to be looking for the Annex Layuta. The reason why is because this one always comes with a multiplier, as opposed to the other ones that are just standard default. Now, like I said, for my one-shot build for Amara, if you haven't seen that video, you guys should definitely check it out because it melts just as much as this one does. But the key here is you want to make sure you get the one with the multiplier. Now, granted, I know that the one with the multiplier consumes 2 bullets instead of 1, but with this particular build, you guys shouldn't have a problem. You're just going to go through 1 clip and boom, bada, bing, the boss is dead. Now, I have seen other variants of the Layutas that they stack up to like 1,400, 1,300 in damage. I haven't seen them go any higher than that. So if you do have one that goes higher, like at least in the 16s, let me know in the comment section down below. Hit me up on Discord. I want to see some proof that they actually exist. Now, I'm going to explain how we get that nice maximum bonus a little bit later in the video. But if you're not doing bosses and you're just clearing out mobs, these are the weapons I want to recommend. So I have this one right here, which is amazing, the Shocking AAA. The reason why I run this weapon is just for shields. There's no other reason why I run this weapon. I just run it because it's really good against shields. And as you guys know, high-end content requires a lot of shields. The next one is the Cunning Wagon Wheel. If you do play Destiny, it reminds me a lot of The Last Word, and I just love the way this weapon fires. If you don't like this one in particular, you could always go with this one right here, which is the Unforgiven, which also hits like a truck, but I still like the Wagon Wheel a little bit better. Next up, I also like to run the Duke. Now, the Duke is amazing. It's one of my favorite weapons as well. As you guys see kind of like where we're going here, it's a lot of hand cannons, right? So we are going with that max damage and that crit hit chance increase. As you see, the hand cannons seem to have that plus 10. Now, these ones right here are Jacob's weapons, and they did get a nerf, so I'm still trying to figure out what other weapons I'm going to be able to use that are going to have a nice buff instead of having a nerf like these ones got. But these are still pretty good to use offline. And we're currently working on the must-have hand cannons that are not Jacob that we're going to be putting out shortly. And last but not least, guys, I like to use the Hellwalker. The Hellwalker is amazing for high-level content. Not only is it really good for getting crit hit chance, but the cool thing about that is if you get it, you can actually hold down the trigger and just keep firing. It melts anointed, it melts bosses, it just melts everything in its path. highly recommend you guys get this weapon. If there's another weapon that you guys like running with Fl4k that I didn't mention, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to check them out. Alright, so now that we talked about the weapons, let's talk about the must-have items. So for the first one, you're going to want to make sure you have a shield, the transformer. The reason why I like running this one is because you have a 40% chance to absorb bullets, and they're going to be added to your ammo count. So you're not going to be running out of ammo, and you're also going to be able to absorb them and not take that damage. In addition to that, is you're going to be getting shocked quite often when it comes to playing high-end content, and that's going to allow you to turn that shock damage into shield, which is always a bonus. Another required item is the hex, and you're probably wondering, Laser, why is it a requirement? The reason why it's a requirement is because if we go over to our hunter tree and we go to the head count one, it's going to say that whenever Fl4k scores a critical hit chance, there's a chance for action skill cooldown to be reduced. The cool thing about the hex grenade is that it counts as critical hit chances every single time the grenade actually impacts. This is going to allow you to be getting your action skill a lot faster, and that's why it's a requirement. It's like we're tricking the system, like we're landing crit shots with our grenade. The next requirement, of course, is our class mod. We're going to want to make sure we go with this one. Now, the one I currently have is not the most optimal as far as stats are concerned. I wish I had one with a plus 31 sniper rifle damage or a plus 31 pistol damage. That's the only thing that I'm missing from this one. But this is the one that you want to make sure you have. You want to make sure you have a 2-2-1. When I say 2-2-1, you want to make sure it's 2 oranges. So 2 oranges, 2 oranges, and 1 blue. That is going to be your main focus. The main reason why this one is so important is because of the bottom text that says bosses are now treated as humans, beast, and robotics for Fl4k's hunter skill. Remember how when I spoke earlier when we were putting the points into the skill tree, how we were trying to convert the bosses into different beasts, into different humans? This is going to give us a nice additional boost as we are able to convert those bosses into those type of characters. And last but not least, guys, the last requirement for this particular build is going to be your artifact. The only reason why this artifact is so important is for two, actually. We have damage of 183, so we have a lot of damage. But we also like this one because it says, while suffering an elemental effect, increase your damage with the same element. The reason why this is so important is because this is what allows us to kill the bosses really fast. As you guys notice on this particular clip, I am shooting myself with the gun, causing me a status effect, so I'm damaging myself with that solar. It's going to give me that damage boost increase due to the fact that this artifact is allowing me to do that. And there you guys have it. This is the renewed version of the Fl4k crit hit build that is a monster, a one-shot with enemies, and almost a one-shot with the bosses. Highly recommend you guys test out this build. If you do, let me know what you guys think. If you guys think we should change some stuff around, also let me know as well. I'm always eager to find out what your guys' input is.